Hey guys, how are you doing? I do a little catch-up video. I haven't made one in a few days. Kind of just give you a show and tell of what's going on and what I'm working on. So take you on for the journey. Been playing around with the quad. It's running pretty good. I am still kind of waiting on a drive shaft for the front, but a bunch of work has been coming in, so that's kind of a back burner project. Backhoe's done for what I'm going to do to it. That should get picked up today. I did a little bit of playing with it, a little back dragging. Back dragged my driveway too, kind of flattened her out a little bit. A friend of mine's truck, he blew the front differential on it. Anytime you go over about 7 miles an hour, so it's banging real hard in the front end. So he picked up another one, and I just went and picked up his truck. She's a little bit of a tight squeeze on my trailer, as you can see. And that's the side that has a lot of room. That's the tight side. Really? Yeah, she's close. So, go back that off the trailer. I think I'm at the limits of my truck. My truck's, I think it's got a 7,000 pound tow capacity. And you figure that truck's got to be 5,000 pounds. Actually, it's loaded with tools in the back, probably more than that. And my trailer, I think, is 2,200 pounds. So, and in the garage, we got running away is the Westy. I brought that in to do some more work on it. I was having a problem with it surging on me. The idle would kind of go up to like 1,500, $2,000. It wouldn't stay consistent. So I was poking and hoping on the thing, and I found light on the camera. There we go. This guy right here is a what they call idle speed maintainer or something like that. So I guess when the load changes, you turn the AC on and off, or the load that goes on the alternator changes and it changes the RPMs. That's supposed to help kind of adjust it. And all it does is it's got pretty much like a bypass valve that goes from one side of the intake directly. It bypasses the throttle body and goes directly into the intake, probably adjusting the mixture. So you can plug it now, see what it does. Power drops down. So I was kind of chasing that stuff where it was running away on me, and I started zeroing in on that. But while I was playing with that, all of a sudden the van started getting hotter and hotter and running real hot. The way these things are set up, of course the motor's in the back and the radiator's in the front, there's a shitload of coolant lines running all through this thing, and I figured I just had air in the system. So I went and I bled the system out. That's kind of why you see it on the angle like it is. You gotta jack up the ass end. While the ass is up, you actually bleed the front, because figure the water level wants to stay level. So you just let it come up to that point with this bleeder open. Once it starts coming out, you're good. Flip the van around the other direction, do the backside. So I bled it out a couple of times, let it cool down, warm up again. I'm gonna show you, pop the grill off. And you got right there is your bleeder. So I bled it out, some air in it. Again, the fan wasn't even coming on, it was overheating. And that's kind of a good indication that you have air in the system, because there's a switch on the radiator, and it basically stays wet on the backside as fluid's going by it. When it senses the temperature of the fluid at a certain level, it turns the fan on. Well, if there's no fluid there's nothing to turn the fan on. So I bled it, the fan started coming on at 3/4 again. Let's see where we're at right now. Kind of hanging out about half right now, which is kind of about where it should be. And then when you drive, and it can go up just a little bit further, and then the electric fan will automatically kick on. If it gets too hot, that red light starts flashing. If you don't have enough fluid in the system, that red light will flash, the little button in the little thing on the gauge there. You can see it. So, let it all out, and it's got like 2 sets of bottles in the back. If you look, there's one bottle right there, and then that kind of goes to another one that's under the plate, and that's where you would normally fill it, the high and low. And I wouldn't exactly say that thing's in the path of it, but it's got a hose on the bottom and a hose here, and kind of fluid kind of comes through. As you rev it up, you can actually see bubbles. See if I can do this one-handed by dropping you guys in the pose. bubbles coming up. There goes the idle again. So what I think is happening is, unfortunately, I think I have a blown head gasket in the thing. These pretty much, I'm going to call it design flaw. It just was not a very good system. They have aluminum on steel, and the aluminum corrodes from whatever there is for antifreeze in it. First they blamed it on the antifreeze, but it didn't seem to matter. This motor was done. There's new cylinder heads already on it. Let me shut it off. There's new cylinder heads already on it that were probably done. I think I looked it up. It's got 135 on it now, and I think they were done at 90 or 100,000. But again, that was probably 14 years ago. And I don't think it's miles that does it. It's time, how much time the fluid is sitting there contacting them. So what I did was, I don't know what you can see of them. It's kind of hard to see in there. But I popped the valve covers down, and I took a torque wrench and I tried retorquing the heads. And this head actually took quite a bit. It turned, it was probably only at about 37 is what they're supposed to be at. Come on, get in focus. 37 is what they're supposed to be at, foot-pounds, and it was probably at 10 pounds. So I was like, ah, good. Maybe that was it. I just kind of, you know, would crush back down to whatever seal is leaking, but I don't think that's going to take it. I think I'm going to have to tear into it and tear it apart, unfortunately. But that's the whole idea of running it. I probably have about 300 miles on it right now. I'm going to continue, now that it kind of burped the system, I'm going to run it for a little bit longer. But I think I'm kidding myself saying that it's okay. I pretty much know that that's what the issue is. So my parents aren't coming to get it until June, middle of June, right around there. So I do have some time to kind of get all the bugs out of it. And you know, they got a 1,500 mile ride to take the thing back home to Florida, so it's got to be right, you know. It is what it is. What are you gonna do, you know? It's unfortunate because the motor does run really sweet, but I have a feeling also why the RPMs go up like that. I think there's another sensor back on the motor for when the engine is cold. It helps bring the idle up, kind of like a choke would be on a carbureted car, but this is fuel injected. And I think what's happening is there's an air pocket getting in there that's causing it to think that it's cold, and that's why the RPMs go up. So I'm gonna pop the covers back on it, close it up for a while, and still kind of run it around town. But I have a feeling that once I get caught up on a couple of jobs, we're gonna bring this in and tear into the motor. You can do it in the vehicle, but you pretty much have to strip the whole thing down. Everything's got to come off of it. So bike's all done, and she's missing a bunch of plastic clips for the covers, but we got it all back together. And I did not take it for a test drive. So, and Mr. Shoe, I'm waiting for a bigger box. If not, we're going to ship her off in this one. It's a tad oversized. As you can see, it's pushing out that one corner, but we'll get that out to you pretty soon. All right, guys. Again, thanks for watching. Guess we're gonna have some vanagon engine teardown videos coming in the near future. Take care.